The giant hall of the Galactic Council fell silent. The giant screens showed planets being destroyed one after another. The energy beings that humans later called void wraiths moved like dark storms across the stars. They ate all power and left only cold rocks behind. Commander Eleanor Wright sat very still in her seat. She was the only human in the room. As Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Council, she had seen many strange things. But this was different. This was war. We have lost contact with the Betelgeuse system, said Counselor Zivthrak, his insect-like arms clicking nervously against the speaking platform. That makes 17 systems in the past 30 days. Our best ships and warriors have failed to stop them. Eleanor watched the other alien representatives. There were almost 400 different species in the Galactic Council. Some looked almost human. Others were clouds of gas or walking crystals. All of them looked afraid. The Defense Committee has created a special task force, Zivthrak continued. We need volunteers to lead a mission directly into Void Wraith territory. Our scientists believe there may be a central controller we can target. A hologram appeared, showing the mission details. The red text at the bottom caught Eleanor's eye. Survival probability, 2.7%. The room erupted in worried whispers. Eleanor tapped her communication device and sent a message to Earth. This was too important to wait. We cannot force any species to accept this mission, Zivthrak said. But we need an answer quickly. The Void Wraiths are moving toward the central systems. Eleanor's device beeped. She read the message from Earth and smiled. She stood up and raised her hand. The people of Earth volunteer, she said clearly. The room went completely quiet. Then noise exploded as hundreds of alien representatives began talking at once. Zivthrak had to bang his gavel for nearly a minute before order returned. Ambassador Wright, he said, his voice translator struggling to hide his shock. Perhaps you misunderstood. This mission has less than 3% chance of success. I understood perfectly, Eleanor replied. My government has authorized me to offer a full team of our best people. We can begin preparations immediately. A tall, blue-skinned alien stood up. This is absurd. The humans have been part of the Galactic Council for less than 20 years. They don't understand what they're volunteering for. Eleanor smiled politely. With respect, Counselor, humans have a long history of volunteering for dangerous missions. When something needs to be done, we do it. This is not about bravery, the blue alien said. This is about certain death. Nothing is certain, Eleanor said. And if we don't try, then all of our worlds will die anyway. The debate continued for hours. Eleanor sat calmly through it all. By the end, the council voted to accept Earth's offer. As she left the chamber, Zivthrak approached her. I must ask, he said quietly. How did your government decide so quickly? Eleanor laughed. The message I sent wasn't asking for permission, it was telling them about the job. The reply was just a list of volunteers. We already had more than we needed. Zivthrak's compound eyes blinked in confusion. But why? Eleanor thought about how to explain. There's an old saying on Earth. The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. We've always had people willing to run toward danger when others run away. 3 days later, the team from Earth arrived at the Galactic Council station. Captain Victor Daniels led the group. He was tall and had many scars from old battles. Behind him came Dr. Samantha Powell, Lieutenant Alex Rivera, Chief Engineer Olivia Grant, and 20 other specialists. Welcome to Operation Fenrir, Eleanor said as she greeted them. That's what the Council is calling this mission. Victor nodded. Good name. In our old stories, Fenrir was a wolf that even the gods feared. The Council has given you a ship, Eleanor continued as they walked through the station. It's one of their older warships, but still very advanced by our standards. They stopped at a viewing window. Outside floated a massive ship that looked like a silver arrowhead. It was at least 3 times the size of Earth's largest vessels. That's the Daedalus, Eleanor said. Named after a human who built wings and escaped an impossible trap. The council thought it was appropriate. Victor studied the ship. It'll do. What about weapons? These void wraiths don't seem to die easily. You'll have everything the council can provide, Eleanor said. But Dr. Powell has the most important job. She needs to find a weakness we can exploit. Samantha Powell adjusted her glasses. From what I've seen so far, these aren't just energy beings. They're following patterns. That suggests intelligence. Intelligence means we can outsmart them, Victor said. Later that day, the team met in a conference room with Counselor Zivthrak and several military experts from other species. One of them, a reptilian officer, was explaining why the mission was doomed. We have sent 63 ships against them, he said. All were destroyed. What makes you think humans will do better? Victor leaned forward. Because we're not trying to outfight them. We're going to outthink them. He turned to Olivia Grant. Chief, tell them your idea. Olivia stood up and activated a hologram showing the Daedalus. The void wraiths are attracted to energy, so we're going to give them something they can't resist. She pointed to the ship's power core. We'll modify this to emit a specific radiation signature, like a big flashing target. The alien experts looked horrified. That's suicide, one said. No, Olivia replied. It's bait. While they're focused on our main power signature, we'll be running on backup systems they can't detect. Victor nodded. And while they're busy trying to eat our fake energy source, we'll be studying them up close, looking for weaknesses. Zivthrak looked around the room. This is why we chose humans. They think differently than we do. Not differently, Victor corrected. We just accept that sometimes you have to take big risks to solve big problems. As the meeting ended, Eleanor walked with Victor toward the ship docks. The council is impressed, she said, but also confused. They can't understand why any species would volunteer for this. Victor shrugged. They don't need to understand. They just need to give us a chance to do what humans do best. And what's that? Eleanor asked. Survive, Victor said with a grim smile. When the odds are against us, that's when we get creative. The team spent the next week preparing the Daedalus for its mission. They worked day and night, making modifications that horrified the council engineers, but that might just save their lives. Soon they would face the void wraiths, and if they failed, there would be no second chance for anyone. Captain Victor Daniels stood on the bridge of the Daedalus watching his team work. Each person moved with purpose. They had been on the ship for 2 weeks now, making it ready for the dangerous mission ahead. Captain, you need to see this, Dr. Samantha Powell called from her science station. She had been studying recordings of void wraith attacks for days without much sleep. Victor walked over and looked at her screen. What am I looking at, Sam? Watch the attack pattern, she said, pointing to dots of light moving across the screen. See how they move, it's not random. Victor watched closely. The void wraiths did seem to follow a pattern. They moved in groups of 3, always keeping the same distance from each other. They're connected somehow, he said, like they're talking to each other. Exactly, Samantha nodded excitedly. And look at this. She showed another recording. When our ships attack one wraith, the others respond instantly, even when they're too far away to see what happened. Victor's eyes widened. A hive mind? They're all connected to each other? I think so, Samantha said. And if they're connected, there must be something controlling them. Find that, and we might have a chance. Lieutenant Alex Rivera joined them, his dark eyes serious. If they share a mind, can we jam it like radio jamming? Maybe, Samantha replied. But first we need to understand how they communicate. The door to the bridge slid open, and Chief Engineer Olivia Grant walked in. Her hands were dirty from working in the engine room. The bait system is ready, she announced. I've modified our main reactor to put out 10 times the normal radiation. If these things are hungry for energy, we'll look like a feast. And our shields? Victor asked. They'll hold for about 3 minutes under direct attack, Olivia said. After that, we switch to the hidden backup system and hope they take the bait. 3 minutes isn't much time, Alex said. It's all we have, Olivia replied. No shield can stand against these things for long. Victor nodded. Then we make those 3 minutes count. Let's run the plan again. The team gathered around the main table. A hologram showed their planned route into Void Wraith territory. We enter here, Victor pointed. This is the edge of the Helix Nebula where they were last seen. We power up the bait reactor and wait. Once they come for us, Olivia continued, we let them start feeding on the reactor radiation while we gather data. I'll need at least 2 minutes of close observation, Samantha added. That should be enough to analyze their energy patterns. Then we cut the bait reactor and switch to stealth mode, Alex said. If they can't see us, they can't eat us. Victor looked around at his team. Questions? What if they can still sense us after we go dark? Asked communications specialist Nathan Kim. He was the newest member of the team but had already proven his value. Then we run, Victor said simply. Fast and far, and hope what we learned is worth it. Later that day, Victor was called to a meeting with the Galactic Council's Defense Committee. A large alien who looked like a cloud of gas floated at the head of the table. This was Counselor Krelmak, known for his distrust of humans. Captain Daniels. The alien's voice came from a translator device. Our engineers are concerned about your modifications to the Daedalus. You are making the ship more vulnerable, not less. With respect, Counselor, Victor replied. Conventional tactics have failed against these creatures. We need to try something different. By making yourselves easy targets? Asked Krelmak. This seems like suicide. It's only suicide if we don't have a plan to survive, Victor said. We do. Commander Eleanor Wright spoke up from her seat nearby. The Council gave command of this mission to humans. Captain Daniels has my full support. Krelmak's gas form swirled in what might have been frustration. I wonder if humans truly understand death. You seem so eager to face it. Eleanor smiled. We understand it very well, Counselor. That's why we fight so hard to prevent it. For ourselves and others. I don't understand, said another alien, a small blue creature with 4 eyes. Let me explain, Eleanor said. On Earth, we have people called firefighters. When there's a fire, everyone runs away, but firefighters run toward it. They risk their lives to save others. This is common? Asked the blue alien. Very common. Eleanor nodded. We have many such people, soldiers, rescue workers, doctors who fight deadly diseases. Facing danger to help others is part of being human. The aliens talked among themselves in their own languages. Victor caught Eleanor's eye and gave her a small nod of thanks. After the meeting, Victor met with his team in the ship's mess hall. The mood was serious but not hopeless. The Council thinks we're crazy, he told them. Maybe we are. But I'd rather try something crazy than do nothing while worlds die. Hear, hear. Alex raised his coffee cup in a toast. The others joined in. Captain, Olivia said, I've been thinking about the Wraith's feeding habits. What if we could give them indigestion? Victor raised an eyebrow. I'm listening. We know they feed on radiation, she explained. But what if some types of radiation are harder for them to process? Like how some foods upset a human stomach. Samantha's eyes lit up. That's brilliant. We need to test different radiation types. How do we do that without getting killed? Nathan asked. Small probes, Alex suggested, each emitting a different type of radiation. We send them out and see which ones the Wraiths prefer. Or which ones they avoid, Samantha added. Either could be useful. Victor nodded. Make it happen. We launch tomorrow. The next day, as the Daedalus prepared to leave, the Galactic Council station, a small crowd gathered to watch. Most were aliens curious about the strange humans who volunteered for what seemed like certain death. Commander Eleanor stood with Counselor Zivthrak, watching the huge ship's engines glow as they powered up. They truly believe they can succeed, Zivthrak said, his insect mandibles clicking softly. Yes, Eleanor replied. And that belief is powerful. Even if it's false? Especially then, Eleanor said. Humans have done the impossible many times simply because no one told them it was impossible. As the Daedalus moved away from the station, Eleanor's communication device beeped. It was a message from Victor. We'll be back. Have drinks ready. She smiled and sent back. First round's on me. The journey to the Helix Nebula took 3 days. During that time, the team worked constantly to prepare their tests and perfect their plans. Olivia and her engineering team built 20 small probes, each designed to emit a different radiation signature. Alex programmed them for various flight patterns to see if the Wraiths preferred moving targets. Samantha and Nathan worked together to enhance the ship's sensors so they could gather as much data as possible during their brief window of direct contact. Victor spent hours studying maps of the region, planning escape routes for every possible scenario. The more he learned about the Void Wraiths, the more dangerous they seemed, but also the more intrigued he became. What are they really? He wondered aloud as he stared at the star charts. And what do they want? The answer might cost them their lives. But humans had always been willing to pay that price for knowledge that could save others. That was why they were here, ready to face the most lethal job in the galaxy while other species stayed safely home. As the Daedalus approached the edge of the nebula, Victor called the entire crew to the main hall for one final briefing. "Tomorrow we meet the enemy," he told them. "We don't know exactly what will happen, but I know this team. I know what humans can do when we work together. The galaxy is watching us. Let's show them what we're made of." A cheer went up from the crew. They were scared, yes, but they were also ready. Ready to face the impossible with courage and ingenuity, the human way. The Daedalus drifted silently at the edge of the Helix Nebula. Its normal engines were off. Only tiny thrusters kept it steady. The beautiful colors of the nebula filled the view screens. Blues, purples, and pinks swirled in the cosmic cloud, where new stars were being born. "All stations report," Captain Victor Daniels said from his command chair. "Engineering ready," Olivia Grant answered. "Bait reactor on standby." "Weapons ready," Alex Rivera said, "though I still don't know if they'll do any good." "Sensors at maximum sensitivity," Samantha Powell reported. "If a Wraith comes within a light year, we'll know it." "Communications ready," Nathan Kim added. "All probes are programmed and loaded." Victor took a deep breath. "Then it's time. Chief Grant, power up the bait reactor." Olivia tapped commands into her console. Deep inside the ship, the modified reactor came to life. It began pumping out radiation at levels that would be dangerous to the crew if not for special shielding. "Bait reactor online," she reported. "We're now the brightest thing in this sector of space." "And now we wait," Victor said. They didn't have to wait long. Less than 20 minutes later, Samantha's console beeped urgently. "Contact," she called out, her voice tense but controlled. "Single Void Wraith approaching from Sector 7. Smaller than the ones in the recordings. Possibly a scout." "Everyone remember your jobs," Victor said calmly. "We stick to the plan." On the main screen they watched as something like a dark cloud moved toward them. It was hard to see clearly. The Void Wraith seemed to bend light around itself, making it look like a moving hole in space. "Launch probes 1 through 5, Victor ordered. Nathan pressed a button and 5 small objects shot out from the Daedalus. Each probe shined with a different color of energy. The Void Wraith paused. Then it moved toward the blue probe, ignoring the others. "Interesting," Samantha murmured, fingers flying over her controls. "It definitely has preferences." "Launch the next batch," Victor said. 5 more probes flew out. This time the Wraith ignored them all and continued toward the ship. "It knows which meal is biggest," Alex said. The Wraith was now close enough to see clearly on the screens. It looked like a storm cloud made of darkness. Flashes of energy sparked within it like lightning. "Shields at maximum," Victor ordered. "Get ready, everyone. We're about to meet our new friend up close." The Void Wraith reached the ship and spread itself around the hull. Through the windows, the crew could see darkness flowing over the ship like black water. "It's testing our shields," Olivia reported. "Power drain increasing." "How long will shields hold?" Victor asked. 2 minutes, maybe less, she replied. "It's stronger than we expected." Samantha worked frantically at her station. "I'm getting amazing readings. This isn't just energy. There's a pattern to it, almost like a digital code." "Can you decode it?" Nathan asked. "Working on it," she said. But it's like nothing I've ever seen. The ship shuddered. Lights flickered. Shields at 60%, Olivia called out. We're losing power faster than predicted. Launch defensive probe, Victor ordered. Nathan hit. Another control. A small probe shot out from the ship directly into the Wraith. It was programmed to emit the most harmful radiation they could create. The Wraith recoiled, pulling away from the ship for a moment. But then it returned, seeming angrier. It didn't like that, Alex said. But it didn't stop it either. Shields. At 40%, Olivia reported. We need to move to Phase 2. Victor nodded. Prepare to cut main power and switch to backup on my mark. The ship shook harder. Warning lights flashed across every control panel. Shields failing, Olivia shouted. Now, Victor ordered. Cut main power. Olivia pressed a series of commands. The ship went completely dark for 3 seconds. Then dim. Emergency lights came on. Backup power online, she said quietly. Running silent. They all held their breath. On the screens, they watched the Void Wraith. It seemed confused. It swirled around where the ship had been radiating energy just moments before. It can't find us, Samantha whispered. The bait worked. They watched as the Wraith continued to search. It moved back and forth through the space where the energy had been, like a predator that had lost the scent of its prey. Let's not celebrate yet, Victor cautioned. Helm, take us out of here. Very slowly. The ship began to move away using minimal power. The Wraith didn't follow. I think we did it, Alex said with a grin. Then everything went wrong. Another Void Wraith, much larger than the first, appeared out of nowhere. It moved straight toward them, ignoring their lack of energy signature. It sees us, Olivia yelled. How can it see us? Evasive maneuvers, Victor ordered. Full power to engines. The backup engines came to life, pushing the ship away from the new threat. But the Wraith was faster. It overtook them easily. Brace for impact, Victor shouted. The Wraith hit them like a storm hitting a small boat. The ship spun wildly. Control panels exploded in showers of sparks. Crew members were thrown from their seats. Main engine hit, Olivia reported through the chaos. We're losing thrust. Lieutenant Kelly Martinez, the ship's best pilot, fought with the controls. I can't stabilize us, she called out. We're in a spin. Victor grabbed his armrests to stay. In his chair. Find us somewhere to hide, he ordered. Anywhere. Samantha pulled herself back to her station. There's a mining colony on asteroid KDC-135, she said. It's abandoned but should have atmosphere. Get us there, Lieutenant, Victor said. Martinez nodded grimly and fought to aim their spinning ship toward the asteroid. The engine sputtered and coughed, giving only partial power. The Wraiths are following, Nathan reported. Alex, fire everything we've got, Victor ordered. We need to slow them down. Alex fired all weapons. Beams of energy and explosive charges shot out from the Daedalus. They passed straight through the first Wraith with no effect. The second Wraith absorbed them like drops of water falling into an ocean. No effect, Alex said unnecessarily. Keep firing anyway, Victor replied. Maybe. We'll get lucky. The asteroid grew larger on their screens. It was a lumpy, ugly rock several miles across. The remains of mining structures covered one side. Can you land us? Victor asked Martinez. Land might be a strong word for what I can do right now, she replied, hands dancing over her controls. But I can crash us without killing everyone. Probably. Good enough, Victor said. Everyone, secure for crash landing. The crew strapped themselves into crash positions as Martinez guided their damaged ship toward the asteroid. The artificial gravity flickered on and off. Loose objects flew around the bridge. Behind them, the Void Wraiths followed like hungry sharks. Impact in 10 seconds, Martinez called out. The ship hit the asteroid hard. It skidded across the rocky surface, leaving a trail of broken metal behind it. Inside, crew members were thrown against their restraints. More panels exploded. The lights went out completely. When the ship finally stopped moving, there was silence. Then emergency systems began to come online. Red lights cast an eerie glow over the bridge. Report, Victor called out, unbuckling himself from his chair. Blood trickled from a cut on his forehead. Engine room is a mess. Olivia's voice came through a damaged speaker. But we're alive, working on repairs now. Weapons offline, Alex reported. Not that they were doing much good anyway. Communications damaged but functional, Nathan added. No response from Galactic Council. Too much interference from the nebula. Where are the wraiths? Victor asked. Samantha checked her partially working sensors. Circling the asteroid, they're not approaching the surface, I don't know why. Victor helped Martinez out of her damaged pilot's seat. You did good work, Lieutenant. You saved us. She gave a weak smile. For now, anyway. Victor turned to the crew. We need to make repairs and figure out why those wraiths could see us when we were running dark. Any ideas? I have a theory, Samantha said. The second wraith was different, more advanced. It might detect things the smaller ones can't. Like, what? I'm not sure yet, she admitted. But I need to check something. There's old mining equipment here. Maybe I can use it to scan the wraiths more thoroughly. Do it, Victor ordered. Alex, go with her. The rest of you help with repairs. A few hours later, Victor was helping Olivia fix a damaged power conduit when his communication device beeped. Captain, you need to come to the old control center. Samantha's voice was excited. We found something. Someone. Victor hurried through the damaged corridors of the ship, then out through an airlock into the mining facility. He followed markers Samantha had left until he reached what had once been the control center for the entire mining operation. Inside, he found Samantha and Alex staring at something small huddled in a corner. At first, Victor thought it was a child. Then he realized it was an alien, but one he had never seen before. It was about 3 feet tall with pale blue skin and large, frightened eyes. It was hiding in here, Samantha explained. All alone. I think it's been here since the miners left. Can it understand us? Victor asked. I don't think so, Alex replied, but it seems intelligent. The small alien watched them cautiously. It held a piece of mining equipment like a weapon, but its hands trembled. We need Nathan, Victor said. Maybe he can find a way to communicate. Within an hour, Nathan had set up a makeshift communication system. He spoke to the alien in simple sounds while showing it pictures on a small screen. The damaged control room of the mining facility had become their command center. Maps and diagrams covered the walls. Equipment salvaged from both the Daedalus and the mining colony cluttered every surface. In the center of it all, Captain Victor Daniels stood with his team and their new ally, Echo. The Admiral is not happy, Victor said, turning off his communication device after another heated conversation with Galactic Command. He's threatening to send ships to bring us back by force. Can they even reach us? Alex Rivera asked. The nebula blocks most long-range travel. They'd find a way, Victor replied. But we have time. It would take them at least a week to get here. Samantha Powell looked up from her workstation where she'd been analyzing data with Echo's help. The small blue alien sat beside her, skin flashing with color patterns. We may not need a week, Samantha said. Echo has helped me understand the Wraith communication system. It's like a network, all the smaller Wraiths connected to the larger ones. Nathan Kim nodded as he watched Echo's color patterns. And all the larger ones connected to something even bigger, what Echo calls the Hungry One. A central controller, Victor mused, just like we suspected. More than that, Samantha said. Echo's people discovered something before they were attacked. The Wraiths aren't just random energy beings. They're tools, created by this Hungry One to gather energy. This news silenced the room. Even the constant repair work in the background seemed to pause. Created? Olivia Grant finally asked. You mean they're artificial? Not exactly, Samantha replied. More like drones. Parts of a larger organism that can operate independently but share a common mind. Echo's skin flashed rapidly. Nathan translated. The Hungry One sleeps in dark space, sends small parts of itself to feed. Growing stronger, soon will wake fully. And when it wakes fully? Victor asked. Echo's colors dimmed to a deep blue that needed no translation. Fear. So we're not just fighting random attacks, Alex said. We're trying to stop an invasion. Exactly, Samantha nodded. And according to Echo, the Wraiths have a weakness. They communicate using a specific energy frequency. If we could disrupt that frequency, we could break their connection to the controller. Victor finished her thought. Cut off the head and the body dies. Or at least gets confused, Olivia added, long enough for us to do some damage. Victor turned to the engineer. Can you build something to disrupt their frequency? Olivia thought for a moment. With the right parts, yes. But I'd need to know the exact frequency. All eyes turned to Echo. The small alien's color shifted in what seemed like determination. It pointed to a mining tool in the corner. Echo says that tool can help, Nathan translated. It's designed to analyze mineral compositions using different energy frequencies. I can work with that, Olivia said, already moving toward the tool. There's something else, Samantha said. The obsidian drift. The what? Victor asked. It's a region of space at the center of the nebula, she explained. Strange gravitational properties. According to Echo, that's where the Wraiths gather. It might be where they connect most directly with the Hungry One. Victor studied the star, charts they had pinned to the wall. If we're going to disrupt their communication, that would be the place to do it. The Daedalus isn't ready for space travel, Olivia warned. We've fixed the worst damage, but we're still running on partial power. How long until we can move? Victor asked. 2 days minimum, she replied. And even then, we'd be limping. Victor nodded. 2 days it is, everyone knows their jobs, let's move. The next 2 days were a blur of activity. Olivia and her team worked around the clock to repair the ship's engines and build what she called a frequency disruptor based on Echo's knowledge. Samantha and Nathan spent hours communicating with Echo, learning everything they could about the Wraiths and their controller. Alex and his security team set up defenses around the mining facility. The Void Wraith still circled the asteroid but hadn't approached the surface. No one knew why, but no one wanted to take chances. Lieutenant Martinez ran simulation after simulation, planning the most efficient route to the obsidian drift using their damaged engines. Victor split his time between helping with repairs and arguing with Admiral Zeltharan over their pat. The bridge of the Daedalus had never been so quiet. Everyone stared at the massive black crystal structure filling their view screens. Even with the disruption field active, they could feel its presence. Ancient, powerful, alien. Switching from disruption to communication, Olivia Grant reported from engineering. Brace yourselves. The Wraiths will start recovering in about 30 seconds. Everyone to battle stations, Victor ordered. If this doesn't work, we need to be ready to move fast. Samantha Powell worked frantically at her console, with Echo beside her. The small blue alien skin flashed with complex color patterns as they prepared their message. What exactly are we going to say to this thing? Alex Rivera asked, checking his mostly non-functional weapons systems. Echo's people tried to tell it they weren't a threat, Samantha explained. We're going to try something different. We're going to offer help. Help? Victor raised an eyebrow. It's been destroying entire star systems. Because it's desperate, Samantha said. According to Echo, it's the last of its kind. It came from a dead galaxy and found ours full of life and energy. It's afraid and hungry. Nathan Kim nodded as he translated Echo's color patterns. It doesn't understand that it's killing sentient beings. Or maybe it doesn't care. Either way, fear is driving it. Disruption field down, Olivia announced, switching to communication mode. Now, the ship hummed as its modified systems sent out a complex pattern of energy pulses toward the crystal structure. On the bridge, they held their breath. The Wraiths are regrouping, Lieutenant Martinez warned from the helm. They're starting to move toward us again. Keep the engines hot, Victor told her. Be ready to run on my mark. Seconds stretched into minutes with no response from the crystal entity. The Wraiths were gathering around the ship now, their dark forms closing in from all directions. It's not working, Alex said, tension clear in his voice. Then suddenly the crystal structure pulsed. A wave of energy spread outward, washing over the ship. The lights flickered, but the system stayed online. We're getting a response, Samantha exclaimed. It's complex. Echo, can you interpret this? Echo's skin rippled with colors faster than Nathan could translate. The small alien seemed both excited and frightened. What's it saying? Victor asked. It's asking who we are, Nathan said, watching Echo's colors, and why we're different from the others it has encountered. Tell it we are humans, Victor said. Tell it we want to understand it, not destroy it. Samantha and Echo sent another pulse pattern. The response came almost immediately, stronger this time. The ship shuddered under the force of it. It's curious. About us, Nathan translated as Echo's colors flashed. It's never met beings that would approach it willingly. The wraiths are holding position, Martinez reported. They're not attacking. It's controlling them, Samantha said. It wants to talk to us. For the next several minutes, they continued their strange conversation with the ancient entity. Echo's knowledge of the energy language proved invaluable as they slowly established communication. It calls itself the Nexus, Nathan translated. It's been traveling between galaxies for... Echo doesn't know how to translate the time period, but it's longer than human civilization has existed. Ask it why it's destroying worlds, Victor said. The answer came back in pulses of energy that made the ship's sensors overload temporarily. It needs energy to survive, Samantha said, reading the data, and to complete its journey. Journey to where? Victor asked. Echo's colors dimmed to a sad blue as it relayed the entity's response. Home, Nathan translated simply. It's trying to get home, to a galaxy that died billions of years ago. It doesn't understand that it's impossible. Victor shook his head. So all this destruction is for nothing. It's chasing a memory. Not exactly, Samantha said, studying her readings. It believes there may be others of its kind still alive in its home galaxy, in some kind of suspended animation. It's gathering energy to revive them. How much energy would that take? Victor asked. Based on these readings, the equivalent of thousands of star systems, Samantha replied grimly. Maybe more. Victor stood up. Tell it we understand loneliness. Tell it we understand wanting to save your people. But tell it there has to be another way, one that doesn't involve destroying innocent lives. They sent the message. The wait for a response seemed eternal. When it came, the entire ship rocked with the force of it. Warning lights flashed across every console. What did it say? Victor demanded. Echo's colors were a chaotic swirl of patterns. It's not happy, Nathan said carefully. It says there is no other way. It needs the energy, and it will take it. The wraiths are moving again, Martinez warned. They're surrounding us. Victor's mind raced. They couldn't fight this thing. They couldn't reason with it. But maybe... Tell it we can help it find a better source of energy, he said suddenly. Something that won't require destroying worlds. Like what? Alex asked. Black holes, Samantha said, catching Victor's idea. They contain enormous energy and they're not inhabited. Exactly, Victor nodded. Tell it we can show it how to harvest energy from black holes and other natural phenomena. Enough for its journey, without killing millions of sentient beings. They sent the message. The response was immediate. A pulse so strong it knocked out power to half the ship. I think it's interested, Olivia said dryly as she worked to restore systems. Echo's colors shifted to a calmer pattern. It wants proof, Nathan translated. It doesn't believe such energy sources exist or can be harnessed. We need Dr. William Foster, Samantha said. He's been working on theoretical models for extracting energy from black holes. If we could somehow contact him. Our long-range communications are fried, Olivia reminded them. We can't reach Earth from here. Victor thought for a moment. Maybe we don't have to. The Admiral said he'd send ships to retrieve us if we didn't report back. Those ships must be on their way by now. They won't arrive for days, Martinez pointed out. Then we stall, Victor decided. We keep the Nexus talking. We convince it to stop its harvesting operations while we discuss alternatives. It was a desperate plan, but it was all they had. For the next 2 days, they maintained their bizarre dialogue with the ancient entity. Samantha and Echo worked tirelessly, explaining human concepts of cooperation and mutual benefit. The Nexus was skeptical but curious enough to listen. Thug. Wraiths remained in position, neither advancing nor retreating. The human crew worked in shifts, always keeping the communication active. On the 3rd day, their sensors detected multiple ships entering the nebula. Galactic Council vessels, Martinez confirmed. 5 of them. Admiral Zelthorin is leading the fleet. Open a channel, Victor ordered. We need to warn them not to attack. Nathan managed to establish a weak communication link. Admiral Zelthorin's reptilian face appeared on their main screen. Captain Daniels, the Admiral said. Your mission has failed. We are here to extract you before those creatures destroy your ship. Admiral, listen carefully, Victor said urgently. We've established communication with the entity controlling the Wraiths. It's called the Nexus. It's not inherently malevolent, just desperate and afraid. You expect me to believe this? Zelthorin scoffed. These things have destroyed 17 star systems. Because it needs energy, Victor explained. But we think there's an alternative. We need to speak with Dr. William Foster immediately. He has knowledge that could save billions of lives. The Admiral's expression was unreadable. Dr. Foster is already here. Commander Wright insisted we bring him. Victor's face broke into a relieved smile. Put him on. Dr. William Foster was a slender man with tired eyes and uncombed gray hair. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. Captain Daniels, he greeted. Commander Wright told me about your situation. Fascinating problem. Doctor, we need a way to extract energy from black holes or similar phenomena. Victor explained quickly, enough to power an interstellar journey for a massive entity. Theoretically possible, Foster nodded, not seeming surprised by the request. I've been working on models for quantum siphoning from event horizons. Never had a practical application. Before, you do now, Victor said. Can you send us your research? We need to convince the Nexus there's an alternative to destroying inhabited systems. Sending now, Foster replied. But Captain, this is still theoretical, untested. It's better than nothing, Victor said. They received Foster's data and spent hours translating the complex physics into terms the Nexus might understand. Samantha and Echo worked frantically to adapt the energy communication to express these new concepts. Finally, they were ready. They sent a long, complex pulse pattern to the Nexus explaining Foster's theories on energy extraction from cosmic phenomena. The response was immediate. The Nexus pulsed with energy so bright it momentarily outshone the nebula itself. The void wraiths around them began to move in new patterns, almost like a dance. What's happening? Victor asked. Echo's skin displayed colors of excitement. It's interested, Nathan translated. More than interested. It's examining the data. It says the theories are sound. It never considered these possibilities. Is it going to stop attacking inhabited systems? Victor pressed. Echo communicated. With the Nexus again. The colors that flowed across the small alien skin were complex but hopeful.